Alright, BobalosRex here, and we're finally talking about Legion Remix. Well, since it's came out, because we know how long I've been actually talking about Legion Remix. But let's get into it. So, first off, I am going to talk about some strategies I'm using and all that stuff, but I want to go over basically an overview, Wowhead's overview of Legion Remix. So y'all know the basics of what I'm going to be talking about. Maybe you haven't started yet because this stuff is time gated. Let's start with that. So the stuff is time gated. Right now we got phase 1. Phase 2 is on the 21st when turbo boost really happens. Phase 3 November 4th, and phase 4 on November 18th. That's when most of the rewards are going to be unlocked. But then, alright, on December 9th, that's when we're going to get even more stuff. It says Remix Original Content, and then Housing Decor Items. Alright? So, Legion Remix isn't really all fully out. But you know what? For Legion players, is it really Legion if it isn't time gated? Honestly, is it really Legion if it isn't time gated? So, that's how it is. So, to me, this whole event is more about the marathon versus the sprint. But that's me. If you want to rush, get stuff done, so you don't got to worry, you want to play other stuff, that's you. Some of the strats I'm going to be talking about is more reflective on how I play. But yeah, this overview also tells y'all what's in Remix, what's not. No Mage Tower appearances, no PvP appearances. PvP stuff you can get right now in retail, just PvP. No mission tables, alright. The seasonal PvP gear, none of that. No fishing pole, no evokers. But we got Wither training right now. You got the Legion Assaults up right now. Invasion points and some of the Argus stuff will come out later. You got the artifact appearances. This guide tells y'all which ones. We got world quests, not word quests. But then we got artifact, all that good stuff. It goes over bronze, how it's just a currency now. Goes over the infinite artifact, World War tier. I'm going to be talking about all this. The next thing I wanted to show y'all, though, and this is what's going to be important to what I'm talking about, is the main thing in Legion Remix, alright, is artifact knowledge, right? Once you get through, like, how you want to play, like, are you playing to get all the rewards? Are you playing to just reminisce about Legion, have a fond memory, do the raids, pug? There's plenty of groups pugging, just level up a tune, do that, have fun with that. But now I'm going to get more into, like, the power system. So, once you get an artifact weapon, which is great, you can skip on alts. I do want to mention that. Definitely good. We are going to talk about how I use alts later, but the skip is always good. You don't benefit from doing the quest line again, really. Especially since you can't get the bonus XP active on the character until you get the weapon. Now, these are new weapons. If you haven't played Legion Remix yet, these are the old. You get the old weapons. You do the old weapon quests, but the artifact trees are different. All right, and then this also talks about the fragmented epic momenta or epic challenges. Those you're gonna get from doing LFR. Is it good to do LFR while leveling? You can. It is kind of decent. You're gonna need to do it once, but when we're gonna talk about leveling later, I think questing is better. But here's the big deal: infinite knowledge. All right, this is the key. The main thing with infinite knowledge is the more you have. One, it's account wide, right? So I go over here, I pull it up. We got infinite knowledge here. It's account wide. What this does, right? is it increases the amount of infinite power I get from any sources of infinite power. Alright? So what you want to do, alright, there are a finite amount of sources of infinite knowledge here. You can go through all the achievements, and that will get you the max infinite knowledge. So, what achievements are they? Well, there's a nice little list here that shows you what achievements for infinite power are available per phase. So in phase 1, the main one is just get artifact power, which is funny because each rank of this will help you get the next. So how else can we get more infinite knowledge? Well, you want to do the lore running achievements. So that's full completing a zone, which is why I've been mentioning that's what you want to focus on. So you want to do the campaign in Azuna and then Sojourner of Azuna. Now what I'm going to do, and what I've been doing, is on one tune, I finished 2. So I finished Lore Run of Azuna, Lore Run of Stormheim. Now, I want to level more tunes. I'm going to do the next one. You can just, on one tune, if you're a one-tuner, just get all this stuff done. Because you do want to get all this stuff done. You'll be getting quests that will help you get gear either way. So I wouldn't worry if you just want to do this on one tune or use alts. I recommend using alts. Next up, Broken Isles World Quests. At level 30, you unlock world quests. You can do the quests below level 30 on alts, but world quests don't unlock until level 30, FYI. So, 100 world quests, boom, infinite knowledge there, easy. Once you get them locked in, turned on, they're actually showing up now. They weren't really showing up, but yeah, just fly around, knock these out each day. Get an alt. It is an account-wide achievement. Get on an alt, run even more. I'm going to be having a ton of tunes, running emissaries again. I'm getting the full Legion experience. So that's going to be that achievement done easy. Now, Legion Slayer. That's just kill empowered enemies in Heroic World Tier. So let's talk about Heroic World Tier real quick while I'm here. Do I recommend Heroic World Tier to level up? No. If you want to level up for speed, do not do it. Turn it on when you hit level cap, maybe after getting some good jewelry and some epics at level cap. Alright? You know, there's no rush to get it turned on. You can do this early, right? Heroic World Tier is not that hard. It's just the mobs are healthy. So if you want to level, right, it slows you down, okay? So that's my only thing to say about Heroic World Tier. For leveling, it's not good because it slows you down, but the mobs aren't that difficult. You can handle, so you can do this to get your power. Just 50 empowered enemies. That's not long to do. You can go to certain areas, which will get you a ton of enemies popping up and take care of them. Next up, dungeon achievements. So these are just making sure you get all the dungeons. So you can't specifically queue for these, you know, like normal, or just get a healer and start random queuing until you get all these achievements. That's my plan. And then the next one here is complete Anytime Warm Keystone Dungeon 7 or higher. A level 7 ain't going to be that hard. If you're actually soloing, I don't know how far into the trait tree you got to get to do a 7, but I was blasting a 40 at max. Remember that. At max, 999, M plus is a playground for you by yourself. Next up, Broken Isles World Bosses. So these are on a daily. These are daily. Okay, these reset daily, not weekly. So that's good. But also, it's going to take you, let's see, 10 days. 10 days. Alright, hopefully they're on a set schedule and it repeats 10 days. Alright, for that. So get on it. Emerald Nightmare. This says any difficulty, you just knock it out LFR. That's why I do recommend doing LFR once while leveling. You can start these, I think, at level 20, 25. Knock them out, get infinite knowledge. They are on daily reset, all the raids. Legion raids are on daily reset in Legion Remix, and live servers on live servers, you can run Tumas Sargeras, Antorus daily for the mount drops, alright? Or just buy them with bronze when they come out, right? But that's what I'm saying. Antorus isn't out yet, you know, so. Alright, then we got Rise of the Nightfallen, which is going to be Phase 2. You're just going to be able to get 3 then. Phase 3, Legion Fall, you're just going to be able to get 5. And then Argus Eternal, you're going to be able to get the rest. So, like I said, I would focus on these. I'm going to be linking all these pages during Phase 1. Because, again, infinite knowledge gives you more infinite power. So, the more infinite knowledge you have, whenever you're farming infinite power now, you would be getting more if you had more infinite knowledge. So, again, the focus first should be acquire infinite knowledge, then start working on infinite power and gearing. So with gear, you don't upgrade it like in Remix or Pandaria Remix. It works differently. And I kind of like how it works now. So as you get level capped, you start getting higher level gear. You know, I'm getting 584s now, right? As your item level goes up, and there is a reason to hold on to higher item level gear, right? So now I'm getting 588s, right? So as I push my item level up, okay, I'm going to start getting higher level gear drops. Okay, so as your item level goes up, the gear that drops for you goes up. So, Epic Gear and Legion Remix can scale higher than 584. Once you eat endgame sources, you will be able to attain Epic Gear above 584 either from scaling sources or Mythic Plus. Scaling Infinite Gear. Caches of infinite power rewarded from infinite research, daily quests, and dungeon queues. Any dungeon. Combining 10 motes of broken time obtained from a variety of Legion activities. So, okay. The boxes, right, these caches are going to cap out, epics will cap out at 584 in the boxes. But the caches and the motes, which you get motes from doing world quests and these boxes, right? So you do get uncapped gear from these, but it's through these motes, right? And then Mythic Plus end of dungeon chests, but Mythic Plus gearing is slightly different. So yeah, so you get motes, you can get 1 to 2 from the caches, killing empowered mobs, rare mobs in heroic world tier. Then we got dungeon bosses, Mythic Plus completion, and raid bosses. So you're going to be getting these motes. You're also going to be getting that other currency, which gives you power. We already talked about power. And then also, when you start doing M+, that's when you can start steady gearing your character. But that's the thing. You're going to want to be this item level by this. So this is only relevant if you're doing this in a group, right? Because I'm going to be real with you. You're going to want to be out gearing the Mythic Plus content for soloing, you know? And yeah, the max gear is 740 that you can get. Jewelry, the main thing that matters is the ranks of the trait. So you do want to get jewelry that has traits you want, depending on your class. There are guides that tell you which trait to go for which class, which tree. Most trees that are good are the Twisting Nether, the Dreadlord, and the Nature Tree can also be good for you. Alright? And then as far as the good traits, yeah, so you're going to want, most likely, I don't know for each class, but Terror from Below is great, Volatile Magics is great, and Touch of Malice is great. I like Souls of the Ka too. So there's that. It talks about jewelry here, and make sure to scrap your items. You have a chance to get the Artifactium Sand, which will give you power for your weapon. You know, so that's always good. And then, of course, the rewards. The main thing about Legion Remix is the rewards. So my mantra has always been, you acquire infinite knowledge. To gain infinite power, right? Gear comes along with that. To get infinite bronze to buy all the rewards. And let me tell you, in Legion Remix, bronze is raining from the skies, right? There are some achievements, right? So we do have some achievements. So there are the titles. Time Runner you get from reaching 80. Chrono Scholar from completing the Infinite Research stuff. Of Infinite Chaos from doing heroic raids, which does require raids that aren't out yet, time gated. And then of the Infernal for completing a Keystone level of 40, which again can confirm if you can max out a character. A Keystone level 40 is soloable by tanks, easy peasy. Alright? Can confirm on the PTR. Maxed out. Alright? Next up, Sargeras Transmog, of course. This one, the green one, if you have a level 80, you've gotten the quest. You get the quest right as you hit 80, basically, and do some other little things. And it's just get infinite power, get infinite research assignments completed. You're gonna do that all. If you're doing infinite research, you're getting infinite powers, so you're gonna get this easy peasy. I'm still working towards it because I haven't had time to play much. Then we have Heroic Broken Isles World Quest. So you want the purple set, turn on hero mode, and start doing world quests. It is a count-wide progress, so alts will give you a benefit. Next up, the Lightbound, and then the red one. So the Lightbound comes from doing all the raids on Mythic, which is time-gated. You can't get the Lightbound yet until November 16th. I think it was. And then the Time Stone Keystone Hero. So if you can do a Keystone level of 30, you can get the red one. I know people were really hyped for the red one. Keystone 30 will be doable solo, but you gotta get your power up. You gotta get your power up. So I'm gonna go over some more of my strats, but you want to get one toon that you're just doing research on, doing dailies, doing world quests. You don't even got to be doing world clears of the raid. That would help. You know, doing world tours of the raid would help, but you don't have to. You know, doing daily dungeons, whatever. You can just do the solo activities. All right, just get a toon that you're powering up, and hopefully by the end, will be super powered, or you can get a group. But I do know if we can get close to that 999 power, a 30 is easy. Okay, a 30 is easy. The 30 was easier than, yeah. The 40 was where, 40 plus is where it started to get interesting for that max level power. Okay, and I'm excited to see where groups of people with that power will get. But that's that. And of course, you got other little goodies, pets from the zone achievements, enchants. Another pet, armaments, transmog, more armaments, transmog, and then of course all the stuff. They did bring, they made it a vigilance mason. You know, I know some were missing. Of course, we got Teshalak one-hand and two-hand version. Alright, and then the sides. We got the new Order Hall mounts. Again, if you want to save bronze, which, I mean, bronze is reigning, you can level a toon and get it for free. Or you can buy it at the vendor. If I'm on a Death Knight, I can buy the other mounts. I can level the Death Knight and buy the other mounts. Easy peasy. Can't use the other mounts, but I can get them for those other classes. And then, of course, I've already bought all the new mounts. Right? But, of course, the mounts time-gated, so once you capped out on bronze and bought everything from this phase, you know, you can start saving for the next. That's kind of good. You know, I'm going to try to have a bronze stockpile, so when a new phase comes out, boom, buy all the mounts. Right? Get that done. Run the raids. Run the dungeons. Be done with it. Alright, next phase. Have that toon, that powered up toon. Buy the mounts with the bronze, because it is tradable across your account easily already, which is great. Knock out the raids. Knock out the dungeons. Wait till the next phase, right? That will be key, right? If you can get someone powered up, because that 740 item level was supposed to be for Argus. So I think it's going to be, if you can get capped out and ready to go for each phase, it's going to be easy. All right, so I basically talked about the basics. Now I really want to get into my my strategies here, and then we can do that. So y'all know gearing, y'all know the artifact weapon. Now the trait I'm talking about is this one, right? So once you get to the end here, this is going to be the final trait. Now this trait, we fought long and hard on the PTR, is going to give you not only main stat and stamina, but versatility. All right, that versatility, as it grows, right, is going to help you so much, and it is going to go beyond 100 because they uncap these, right? So depending on your class, like, it's wanting me to get 100% crit. I've loved what they've done with stats, uncapping them, really letting us go to town. You know, plenty of class guides there. You know, as you can see, I'm working up my item level. You know, I haven't played too much. You know, I'm working through my achievements. I only got 49 out of 245. You know, I really need to get into it. But yeah, you want to go for these infinite knowledge achievements, all right? There's some there. You know, there's some in the... There's a lot in the quest. And then if you're leveling alts. So let's talk about my strats. Okay, let's get into it because I'm going to talk about alt leveling real quick after. So, for the solo player that wants to gain power, right? And you just want to get your character powered up. And you want to do it solo, right? Because that's how I want to play. I know a lot of people want to play like that. One, you want to pick a tank, right? DK, Demon Hunter, Druid, Paladin, right? I think Paladin's a little bit better than Druid. But DK, Demon Hunter, you want to get those guys, right? If you want to benefit, right? You can't do it on any class, but if you want it for ease, for soloing, it's always tank. Then the route is going to be level, right? If you want to level, you turn it on easy mode and you just smash quests, queue a dungeon if you want to do a dungeon, but the queues are kind of slow for tanks. But you can get through it, right? Queue LFR though. LFR, queue it as damage. You can go as tank, get that LFR done, because that's going to be the activity that's the easiest while leveling and is harder at max. But yeah, so then you level questing, you get your knowledge through doing a zone or two, or like I said, if you're only playing one toon, you gotta do all of them. You gotta do all the zones because you gotta get that infinite knowledge. So just keep questing, even beyond level cap, right? And that's why I may be saying ignore LFR, because doing the dungeons and stuff will only slow you down. You want to get these quests done. You want to get your infinite knowledge through all the quests, right? And look, even the Pillar of Creation turn-in, like most of them come from a dungeon. It only gets you bronze. It only gets you bronze, so I would save the dungeons for later. So you level, don't turn on Heroic World, so you just get the levels, get the quests done. That's when you're going to switch, once you're fully cleared on quests, right? That's when you're going to switch to World Quests, you know? While you're questing, once you turn World Quests on and you see World Quests timing out, you want to hit those up because, you know, if you're full collecting, that's how you're going to get your rep, right? World Quests, they give you a little rep thing. You can get capped out real quick, max out these reps, not too bad. Armies of Legion Fall is going to be time gated. Argusian Reach is going to be time gated as well, you know. All right, but you can get the starter ones done, easy peasy. Get you some bronze, which that's the thing, right? I talked about bronze earlier. If you're a collector, the main thing you should worry about is feats of strength, not bronze, because bronze, you will have enough bronze. By the time I get 245 of these feats done, I will have enough bronze to buy everything beyond. Alright? And beyond. Because you gotta remember, the housing items are going to be coming too. So, focus on getting the quests done. Get some world quests. Maybe a little LFR. By the time you have a character, alright? Or at least on alts, have cleared all the questing, got all the knowledge, got all that stuff. As a tank, you can easily do normals. Then you can start doing heroic dungeons, right? Getting those quests done, getting those achievements done, getting that knowledge, getting that stuff done, right? The whole time, you want to be doing this infinite research. Infinite research is amazing, and even more amazing on alts. But yes, every day, infinite research does a little reset. You can throw out your old ones that you don't like the dungeon ones. Say I didn't like this dungeon one. I can hear. Look, I don't want to do I have a Shara. That was yesterday's. I come over here. It's a new roulette. Alright, now I can just do any dungeon. Alright, now I can just do any normal dungeon. Alright? Well, it's got to be group finder. So this infinite research is going to help you. Now, the experience, if you're a one player, won't help you, right? But these infinite power caches, the bronze will help you. So yeah, just keep on doing those researches. It will help you, right? Then you move on to raids. Then you move on to M+. And let me tell you, by the time this is at like 100, because you'd be powering up, by the time this is at least at 100, you're probably soloing M+ up to 10s at least, not higher, because once you're at 100% verse, what is 100% verse difference between like 200%? I guess it's double, but I mean, like, functionally, I was just deleting things, right? You know? And they couldn't kill me. Like, that's the point. And as a tank, that's the point you're going to get to, right? You're going to see these mobs that are healthy, but you are invincible. Look at this parry chance because of these stats, right? If I'm facing a mob, I don't get hit. Right? If the mob is looking at me, I'm just like, yeah, no. So, you'll be able to get there if you just follow the route, right? And then you take it daily, you take it as a marathon, not a sprint, you can get there. Now, if you want to do it in a group, you can get there much quicker, you know? I do think group play in this will get you all your goals quicker, but you can do this solo, and that's what I like. I like that they did tune it for solo after all the begging. Now, time for the biggest brain strat. So I talked about collectors, feats over bronze, because bronze is going to come easy, then you can buy everything. I talked about the solo power player. You know, you want to go from world quest, the world, switch it to heroic world tier, start doing that. Withered training, don't forget. Then you move into dungeons, then into raids, and you can get all that stuff done as you grow your infinite power, right? But do it, remember, infinite knowledge, acquire infinite knowledge to gain infinite power, to get infinite bronze. That's how it goes. Alright? Now, my final thing. My extra strat. So, infinite research is character based. Okay? So, I have this one character, and you know, I still have 3 zones actually to full complete, including Suramar, right? And I'm already at 95%. What is my trick? Well, if you're like me and you want to use this event to get your account or side accounts leveled up, right? The leveling of this event is about on par with MOP minus the dungeon thing, if you or raid thing, right? Because that made it too quick, right? Right? The mailboxes, the raids, all that made it turbo quick. You can actually get quicker than that on this, but it takes time, right? You can go beyond that. I think you can go even beyond that by far. So what the trick is, and it's reliant on infinite research. So first, I would get all the perfected epic mementos done, all that, right? And then from there, get your alts, right? Are you going to be leveling alts? If not, then this isn't for you. But if you're going to be leveling alts, you get on them, get your weapon, fly on over, right? You just fly them on over. Because you don't have to do your artifact intro and all that. You just grab your weapon, put your trade in, flying over to the Infinite Bazaar. I'm going to show you here in a second. All right, so she's all over here on the Infinite Bazaar. You know, she is a low level, right? And I had Infinite Research, complete a Legion Zone campaign. I don't like that. All right, I don't like that one. 200 enemies is fine, so I'm gonna grab that. So that was from yesterday. I'm gonna have a new set here. Got rare elite enemies, rare elite enemies, rare elites, normal dungeon, general training. Okay, we'll do a general training, complete various activities. And then I would hop over, get on my other one, or delete this tune, make a new one, come over, check the research. What you'd be looking for is herbs, residual motes, 6 quests, because then you could just do the artifact quest, and then once you get to the order hall, it's usually like, do this mission, boom, 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 turn in uniting the isles, boom, turn in this daily quest over here, boom, right? So you would look for the easy research quests, complete those, get your 1% account-wide bonus, delete the tune, or leave that alt, come back tomorrow. Alright, so that's my leveling strat, that's my extra strat. You know, how do you want to play Remix? Are you doing this for leveling? Are you doing this for collecting? Are you doing this for just fun? Either way, I think this event is great. I'm going to have a full, like, review of this event, because from the beginning of the PTR being, like, literally upset to what it is right now is amazing, and I'm glad it launched like this. They actually did the test servers so well for this. I'm surprised, right? Is it buggy? Yes. But, you know, the bugs are better than it. I'm glad it plays good, like gameplay wise, and is buggy than it playing bad and being buggy, you know? Anyways, thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.